Welcome back to the Typhoon Tournament Expert Division qualifying round, hole number 3. Here we're going to be laying up with a Kingmaker for a Grizzly bounce up shot, chance at the Albatross. We're starting with a rock. We're using a rock as the driver, so rock 8 plus, and then Grizzly 8 plus for your approach. If you're using though a Grizzly 8, I would recommend, if you have it, to use like a P4 ball just in case, because you have less distance with the Grizzly 8. It's either that or you'll have to play a different, may have to play a different spin set if you get a shorter rollout on your drive. So just be aware. If you got Grizzly 8, maybe practice this a couple times. Make sure that you have enough distance, and if you have to tweak your spin set for your approach, that you know what you're dealing with. P3, 0% elevation, max numbers on the drive here. 4 top, 3 left. We're having the clear ring touching the rough on the left at P3 max rest. This is rock 8 or 9. If you're using a rock 8, I would recommend you add an additional 0.2 top spin, or you'll push up 1 plus yard after the adjustment. I'm going to show you. So there are wind angle changes on this drive that you need to be aware of. If you're not paying attention to your wind angles and you're not pulling your drive straight, you can definitely get a short rollout on the drive, which will kind of put you between clubs. You can still get there, but it kind of screws up the approach. So because of that, we're paying attention to our wind angles. We're pulling straight on the drive and paying attention to the wind angles. There's only 2 wind angles here, and it's very simple differences between the two. What I'm looking at is there's a little arrow, kind of half a triangle point in the rock there. That's what I'm looking at. You see it kind of makes an arrow pointing up. So if I am at that line or left of that line, I'm playing circle drop OP. If I am right of that line, then it's just before, right? Circle drop OP. That's the only differences, but it makes a difference on the distance you get on your rollout. We're trying to roll out to where we're playing plus yards with our Grizzly, and if you come up short, then you're not going to be able to play the spin set that we have set for the approach. So just keep that in mind. Pull it straight. If you're at or left of that little point in the rock, then you'll play it circle drop OP. If you're right of that little point on the rock, then you play just before circle drop OP. Full left curl, and then the overpower that is required for your wind angle. All right. So here I am just barely right of that little line. So I'm going to play just before circle drop overpower, full left curl. P3, 0% elevation, max numbers, 4 top, 3 left. All right, we're looking for 385 plus on the drive. Now our approach spin set, we're trying to use a set spin for our approach to give you the best chance at a drop. The adjustment is P3 plus 20% at slider. I'm using 1 backspin, 1 right spin, no curl, and circle break under power. All right. So this is my starting position here. So with spin added, I want the tip of the ball guide touching the line 2 lines underneath the pin, right? So the tip of the ball guide right there. touching that line, 2 lines below the pin, and just right of center of this square. So there's center. We're just right of it. That's the position. Now, with that being said, there are definitely different wind angles on the approach. One is more tailwind, like this one here I have is more tailwind. And then there is a more crosswind angle on this approach. So this is the more tailwind. And you're going to see that I'm going to miss this one just to the left. And the reason is because I got more wind push from the tailwind angle, right? So the crosswind angle plays circle break under power. The tailwind angle is going to be circle break plus a click of underpower. If I would have added an additional click of underpower here, this would have dropped. So add an additional click or two of underpower for the more tailwind angles. Now, there's no real reference for that. You'll see it, practice it a couple times. You'll see that some of them you'll be pulling more cross, some of them you'll be pulling more tail. If you notice the tailwind angle, play circle break underpower plus a couple of clicks underpower. So find circle break and then push it up 1 or 2 clicks more. If that would have came in just a little bit softer, there's a little slope on the green that funnels the ball to the hole. So if I don't come in too hot there, I come in the right speed, it kicks the ball over to the right and it would have dropped in the hole. So P3 plus 20% add slider, 1 backspin, 1 right spin, tip of the ball guide touching the line, 2 lines below the pin, offset just right of center of the column that the hole is in. And then you'll either need circle break underpower or circle break underpower plus a couple of clicks, depending on which wind angle you got. Grizzly 9 P3 plus yard slider adjust. Plus 9 is 100, plus 8, 98, plus 7 is 95 slider, plus 6 is 93, plus 5 is 90, plus 4 is 88 slider, plus 3 is 86, plus 2 is 83, plus 1 is 80, and 0 is 78. All right? And that's why I say if you're using a Grizzly 8, you may want to use a P4 ball just to make sure that you can set up in plus yards and you don't end up between clubs. If you have it, that's what I would recommend you do. All right? Good luck. I hope you get the drop, and we'll see you on the next hole.